nil. And my goodness, that first half, it could have and should have been more. Smash the likes up, people. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We are so close to 30k. I would love to do it by the new year. With your help, I might have a chance. Hit like and subscribe. And if you would like to attend an Arsenal game or go to a football game, this video is sponsored by Reality Raffles. In the pinned comment section, click on it and you will have a chance for just 99p going into a raffle draw for a team of your choice, a football match of your choice, and £500 for that match. Everything that you need to know is in the description or the pinned comment of this video. So please make sure you get yourself involved in that. Like and subscribe. Arsenal 3, Monaco 0. A very comfortable victory. The scoreline suggests so. It should have been more. The team news was very interesting. In the concourse, there was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of deflation around what the back line might have been. A lot of thoughts were that Kieran Tierney was going to get the nod tonight. It was Lewis Skelly who actually got the nod at left back. More on him coming very, very soon. Party back at right back, which definitely raised a few eyebrows after their performance at the weekend against Fulham. Saliba and Kivior in the back line with Raya in goal. And then the rest of the team, let's be real, was pretty much what we would expect. Other than Havertz dropped to the bench for Gabriel Jesus, Saka and Martinelli starting, Rice back in the 6 in what I think is his best position, Marino starting in the left 8, more on him in a minute, and Ødegaard in the 10, captaining the side. Monaco, if I'm honest with you, let's just be real. The Monaco side, as much as they're doing well in this new format of the Champions League, I don't recognise many of their players. When Kehrer is one of the ones that you do recognise from West Ham, it's not really too frightening. So we started well. We had all the possession. And do you know what we had for the first time the whole of this season? A left-hand side that actually competed with the right-hand side. I thought the left-hand side was actually better in parts than our right-hand side tonight. And although Saka got goals, actually a lot of our play was because of how good Lewis Skelly was. I was so happy. I didn't expect to see him playing left back tonight. I actually thought there was an opportunity that we'd see him at right back. But his left foot, he looks so comfortable there. He's composed. He's calm on the ball. He looks confident. He looks so aggressive when it goes forward. I didn't think there was any part of his game that he lacked tonight. I thought he was excellent for the 60 to 65 minutes that he was on the pitch. And I was surprised to see him get substituted, if I'm honest. I felt like it was an opportunity to actually give him 90 minutes under his belt and maybe see Ethan a little bit more as well. But look, the left-hand side wasn't good just because of Lewis Skelly. It was actually Marino as well. Funny, isn't it, that when you put two left-footed players on the left-hand side, what happens? We start to play football and we start to look good. So let's just be real. We played left-footed players on the left-hand side and started to look a little bit more comfortable there. We were more free-flowing. We looked to be passing the ball better. We looked to be delivering the ball better through to Martinelli, who I thought had a little bit more of a better game tonight in terms of what threat he could deliver down that left-hand side. Still love to see him on the score sheet more. I thought he had a couple of opportunities he just had a lot better with. But he wasn't the only one. There was a few opportunities in that first half for us to kill the game off. And I was really frustrated that we didn't do it. And there's definitely got to be more to our finishing, because the finishing at Arsenal at times has been disastrous. And there ain't been enough clinical finishing at Arsenal with some of the players we've got in our attack lineup. And I've said it in the years over with Saka, but he's the one that actually is fairly clinical now. Ødegaard, I need to see better from him in front of goal. Jesus, I need to see better from him. Kai Havertz, we've mentioned before, going through on goal. You never have that real confidence that you put your house on him scoring, although he's got better in the last few games. And then you look at Martinelli, same. So we've actually got players I go through one-on-one, and I think maybe Trossard and Saka, I'd put money on scoring. The others, flip of a coin. We saw in the first half that we can score goals, and we can score goals from open play. We only had 3 or 4 corners today, and every single one that we delivered in wasn't really that great, if I'm honest with you. I saw Saka tonight. I didn't think he was outstanding. But you know what he is outstanding with? His G and A. His goals and assists are unbelievable, people. When he doesn't even get much of a say in the game, what does he do? He still delivers. He's still there, being one of the reasons that we are still delivering right now. I was really impressed with the fact that we didn't actually have to have him to rely on to have a brilliant game to win the game. Even with him not being great, he still gets 2 goals, doesn't he? So I'm actually really happy tonight with the fact that we scored from open play, because I was getting a bit annoyed with the set piece, ole song because I don't want to be a set piece team. Yeah, I really don't. But in the first half, let's talk about the chances we had because let's just be real. Before the missed one-on-ones, we actually had a couple of opportunities. Jesus had a strike, which, let's be real, I think he should have got more power on it, just rolled into the keeper's hands. Then we had a really good play down the left with Lewis Skelly moving the ball forward to Marino. Marino's superb pass into Martinelli. Martinelli plays a little 1-2 with Marino, and Marino actually switches it straight across and swipes it across the box. It's a really good cross. It's a whipped-in cross, and it's just in front of Gabriel Jesus, who couldn't get his toe to it. And I thought straight away, we're starting to show a little bit of creativity and a little bit of free-flowing, attack-minded play. Now, it wasn't until I saw that I realised Jesus was on the pitch, if I'm honest with you. I thought he was fairly quiet for a bit. And then he started to come into the game, but for the wrong reasons. It is a fantastic ball from Kivior. It's phenomenal. And it bounces perfectly. He takes a really good first touch, and then he just completely fluffs it. Now, it's a good save from the goalkeeper, if you really want to say, credit where credit's due, but it's poor from Gabriel Jesus. And both can be right in this scenario. You can actually have a poor finish and a good save because really the striker should be putting that away and the goalkeeper should have no chance. The only reason he's got a good chance of saving it, and it is a good save, is because Gabriel Jesus has allowed him to make that save and he's given him an opportunity. And when you give a goalkeeper an opportunity, if they're good enough, they'll take it and they'll save it. And that's exactly what they did. And then it wasn't really until I watched the replay that I felt to myself that was actually quite bad because I looked at it in first time and I thought maybe it had just come too quick for him. Maybe the bounce had got a little bit awkward and maybe the bounce had allowed it not to be in control of the shot. But he just got everything wrong, if I'm honest with you. It was a poor delivery, poor finish from Jesus. And it's a goal that he really needed, a goal that I feel would have given him a bit of a confidence boost, a goal that I feel a lot of the fan base wanted him to get. And it really frustrated me, the fact that we couldn't do that. So, look, Gabriel Jesus, my decision is already made, which is why I've titled this like this. He's got his last season at Arsenal. And if there was an opportunity to buy in a striker in January and he had to go, I would be calm with that. There'd be nothing about that decision that would make me worry or make me have concerns or issues raised because he has delivered what he can do and he's done all he can do at Arsenal now. I just don't think he's going to get much better from what we had. And we saw the first few months at Arsenal where he was signed, where I thought maybe he could be a really good number 9 for Arsenal. And quickly I realised with injury problems and with lack of clinical ability that he wasn't going to be a number 9 at all. £50 million has been a flop for Gabriel Jesus. It's been a bad signing. Lacazette was 50 million and he's done much more. Scored a lot more goals, looked a lot more better at link-up play, got player of the year under Emery. We can't look at those two signings and think that they were anywhere near similar. For me, Jesus needs to go in the summer. Because people, when he missed that first one-on-one, what did he do next time? He missed another second one-on-one. Now, this one's a bit harder. I'm not going to slam him as much for this one in comparison to the first one, but he needs to do better. Actually, he takes a very good first touch and he manages to outmuscle the defender. But what he does is he allows the defender to get across him and make the tackle. And then that, for me, just adds to the first miss and proves that he's just not on it at the moment. He's just finished, in my opinion. A lot of people said wasted, finished, not good enough tonight. And you can talk about the fact that he looked a little bit more energetic and then he looked sharper and that he had a better first touch and that he actually looked to link up play a bit more and that there was more sharpness about him. But I don't really feel that's enough to be looking at Gabriel Jesus now and saying that he has a potential future at Arsenal past this season. It's time. My decision is already made, people. He needs to go in the summer. But it's not only him that misses the one-on-one tonight. There's 2 opportunities from him. I've already spoken about the chance we had across the box as well, and the fact that Martinelli and Jesus both had chances, and they were both patted at the keeper. Martinelli had a chance that was actually offside, but he put it completely wide. That is a poor effort. You need to bury that. I'm sorry. There's no excuses. You need to bury that. And then there's the opportunity with Martin Odegaard who goes through as well. Martin Odegaard going through is actually the worst miss of the lot because it's so bad not to hit the target from there. It is quite criminal. He did everything right. He was unbelievable to put himself in that opportunity to nick the ball and to go through and drive forward, no one catching him. All he's got to do is pick his spot, hit the target, pass it into the bottom corner, and he's put it wide. And it's by quite a distance, if I'm honest with you. It's not even close. It's poor, a poor effort. And I've seen a lot from Martin Odegaard where he doesn't shoot and he wants to pass. Maybe we can see why. Because he clearly doesn't have the belief and trust to go one on one and put it away. Now, look, might be a bit harsh. I haven't seen him do that too many times, but when he has been given the opportunity to go through, he's either decided to pass it, take an extra touch, give the defender an option. And in this case, he had no defenders around and no other Arsenal players around. He just had to go for goal and he completely missed it. I thought it was poor from Odegaard, really, really poor. And that disappointed me because I felt like that would have killed the game off, along with Jesus misses, along with the fact that Martinelli had a chance. We could have been 4 or 5 goals up in the first half. And if I'm honest with you, we deserve to be. Those opportunities were created by us. The ball from Kivior, the fact that Odegaard bit of skill to get through one-on-one, nick the ball back. Jesus putting himself into a one-on-one again. Come on, man. We need to be putting ourselves in positions like that and burying them, not missing chances. Because the longer that game stays 1-0, the longer we get frustrated, the longer we start to question, the longer we start to get nervous, the longer we start to think, wow, this could quite easily be a 1-1 draw. They had chances. They missed one in the first half. They missed a couple in the second half. I don't think our keeper had much to do, but let's be real. I don't really think their keeper had much to do, really. They didn't really make any amazing saves, did he? I mean, let's be real. The goals that we scored in the end killed the game off, but I don't think the keeper had a magnificent game. Weren't peppering him with shots, were we? So we should have done better. We should have done better. So I have to say that it was a disappointing half time because I felt that at 1-0, the game's not killed off and it should have been 3 or 4. Now, what I will say is that I felt comfortable in the second half that we would produce more goals. But actually, in the first 20 minutes, I thought that they had the better of us. Monaco had more of the football. Monaco looked to pass it round nicer than us. Monaco were looking to pass it in triangles. Monaco had better press than us. Monaco were better to the first ball and the second ball. And I also thought that Monaco, if I'm honest, had a couple of chances to get himself back into the game. There was a header that just went wide. Luckily, David Raya saw that wide and it looked fairly comfortable that he was happy it was going wide. But there was also another shot that Mbolo had that went just wide as well. And then chances go in. It's a very different game. So, look, they would be disappointed they didn't do better with their chances. But Arsenal, let's be real, had more clear-cut chances, had more one-on-ones, had opportunities where our players were going one-on-one with the goalkeepers. We should have been doing better. But in the second half, we get more goals. Bukayo Saka, and it's actually an own goal, by the way. I know Havertz is claiming it, but it is definitely a own goal. Now, obviously, the first goal from Bukayo Saka is actually really well worked. Jesus does well with the cross, but it's all Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly with that bit of skill, that little dummy, the way he drops the shoulder and he just spins his man. Then he delivers the brilliant pass into Marino, who then puts it wide into Jesus. Jesus' cross is actually very good, and Saka's there and he can't miss. And then in the second half, actually what we did was prove why Kai Havertz would be a very good contributing substitute at Arsenal. This is why I want another striker at Arsenal, because there will be games and opportunities where Kai Havertz can come off from the bench and have an opportunity to get involved and contribute in this way. He puts his body on the line. He causes a nuisance. He starts causing havoc. He starts bullying players, starts winning battles, and then his work rate is phenomenal. And what he does is he chases that down and he puts the goalkeeper off to a point where he passes it into Saka and Saka can't miss and it's 2-0. And the reason that actually we get that second goal is not just because Saka's put in a good finish and Saka's there in the right place. You have to have that right place, right time. But Kai Havertz has worked that. Kai Havertz is the reason we've got that goal. Kai Havertz is the reason that the goalkeeper's felt under pressure. He's put that pressure on. The goalkeeper's thought, oops, I've judged this wrong. And it falls into the path of Bukayo Saka. And it is 2-0. And then with Kai Havertz on the pitch, we start to see more from him. We start to see a little bit more from, I understand it's a bit more free-flowing without Kai Havertz. And I would agree that it probably is. But actually, this is why we need a different dimension substitute like Kai Havertz. And I always thought that we should have kept Olivier Giroud alongside Aubameyang and Lacazette. I know it was hard because it was part of a swap deal with Aubameyang in the end. Well, it wasn't a swap deal, but you get what I mean. And he went to Chelsea so that Batshuayi could go to Dortmund so that we could get Aubameyang. But I will say this: he is a great substitute to have, and I want him in the squad. I've never not wanted Kai Havertz at Arsenal in the squad. Since he's arrived here, I've seen something that makes me believe he can be a squad player, but I don't want him playing as R9 every single game. Unfortunately, Gabriel Jesus isn't really knocking on the door at the moment, and he's not putting in performances that Kai Havertz would be worried about. He's not putting in performances that would be allowing Mikel Arteta to be having a conversation with him about starting. But we do need a centre forward. But Kai Havertz has come on and done very well. And then, of course, he claims the third goal. But let's be real. Yes, he was there, but the does enough to put the defender off, who actually puts it in his own net. So it will go down as an own goal, I believe, if you look at it carefully. So we're 3-0 up. Let's talk about some of the player performances tonight individually. We had a left-hand side for the first time, people, because of an unbelievable performance from a young 17, 18-year-old in Lewis Skelly. His performance was very pleasing. I know he was only on for 60 minutes. And I would have liked to have seen him for more, but actually I was really impressed with him. On the ball, he looks so comfortable. He looks calm. He looks composed. He doesn't panic. He looks casual on the ball. He doesn't look sloppy. There was no passing that I didn't rate or weren't comfortable with. There was no eyebrows raised when we saw him on the ball. There was no nervousness from the fan base. He just fills a lot of people with confidence. And when I'm looking at him and Ethan Nwaneria on the ball, they look very similar because they're left peggers. And when you've got a left foot, I don't know why, you just look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And Lewis Skelly, I've got to be real with you, I think he's found a position that actually he looks comfortable in. I know he was a midfielder in the youth setup, and he's come on to try and make our left-hand side a little bit more stronger in terms of strength in depth. But he looked very, very good. And look, I'm a Kieran Tierney fan, always have been. But when you put in performances like that, you can see why he's getting the nod, because he's the one that's got the future. Kieran Tierney, as much as people like him, he hasn't got a future at the club. So I can understand why Mikel Arteta wants to play Lewis Skelly, because he sees Lewis Skelly ahead of him in the pecking order. That's the way it is. Whether you believe that's right or wrong, that's another different story. But for me, that's where we're at. I'm going to do super chats at the end, people. Big up to Suj as always. Big up to all of you. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe button. We need to get this up to as many likes as possible. There's 300 of you in here at the moment. So let's make sure we get this up to 150. We're not even at 100 yet, people. Come on. You can do better than that. If you do want to get a chance, go to an Arsenal game or a ticket or a football match of your choice, please make sure you go to the pinned comments or the description of this video and click on Reality Raffles, and then get your chance to win in the raffle there. It's only 99p a ticket. Use the code FTM10. You'll get 10% off and a chance to win. Closes on New Year's Eve, people, and there'll be a live draw. So make sure you get yourself in for that if you are. You will need to be in the UK, of course, though. UK only. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. And let's talk about the performances on our left-hand side. Merino, fair play to you, bro, because I thought you were a lot better tonight. On the ball, he looks comfortable, and to be fair, kind of always has. But there was a moment or two in the first half which I really liked, because he was delivering passes like Granit Xhaka used to for Martinelli, and it was actually hurting them. Lewis Skelly was getting the ball. He was delivering it into Merino. Merino was turning, and he was delivering it to Martinelli. And it's something that we haven't seen for quite some time, because, as I've said to you, we've had right-footed players playing right back and left back. We've had right-footed players playing on our left-hand side of left back and left eight. And Declan Rice is so much better in the six, as we saw tonight. So Merino in that eight, it allows him to be more comfortable in that position because he's left-footed. And then naturally, the balls were starting to get whipped through to Martinelli, similarly to how Granit Xhaka was doing it. So look, I personally don't think Merino is anywhere near the level of Granit Xhaka. But I will say this, I thought he was a little bit better tonight. I'm still not convinced that he's an unbelievable signing, by the way, and that he takes us to the next level. But credit where credit's due, I thought he was a hell of a lot better than he has been. So for me, the left-hand side was looking better tonight. I've got to mention this player. I believe the best player Arsenal have is Saliba. A lot of people think it's Odegaard. A lot of people think it's Saka. Some might say it's Rice. There might be other names people throw into the mix. But if I ask any team in world football to pick one player out of Arsenal, they will all pick Saliba. So I rest my case. He's the best player we've got. And just every time I see this guy, he looks calm. He looks composed. He doesn't let anything worry him. And every time the ball goes near him, people, I have the confidence he's going to win it, even in the disadvantage situations. If there was a scenario where he had disadvantage over the striker, I'd still go for him. I'd still go for him. So I was asked this question, I think it was 18 months ago. Who is our best player? At the time, I said, when everyone's fit, I believe it's Thomas Partey. But I've changed it. It's Saliba, man. Some people might still say Saka, Odegaard. For consistency, for being levels above, for walking into any team in the world right now, for the best in his position in the world, I'm going with Saliba as our best player. I'm going to say it. I think he's phenomenal. And he wasn't outstanding tonight. It's just Saliba tonight. He was good, clean sheet, mopped up everything, kept calm and composed in the back line. Let's be real, he's the most experienced head in there at 23. He's the only one playing naturally in the position that he wants to be, because Lewis Skelly, whether you like it or not, is not a left back. I know he's playing well there, but he has come from midfield. You've got Kivior at left-sided centre back, but he's not a first choice centre half. And then you've got Partey, our midfielder, playing at right back. Saliba kept things cool. He made it look very, very easy. And if I'm honest with you, he makes defending not just look easy and effortless, but it makes it look like you want to play in the back line with him. Now, my nephew, bless him, he plays football. He's only 7. He's just got into 5-a-side. It goes to 7-a-side next season for him. He plays centre back. He wins everything. He's a great, great little player. He got the first chance to pick a shirt number. He didn't pick number 9, didn't pick number 7, didn't pick number 11, didn't pick number 5, like Zidane's number, for example. He picked number 2 for Saliba. That is what Saliba's doing to young people at football level. I want the number 2 because it's Saliba's number. That's what Saliba's doing, man. He's having a positive effect on young people. That is what we need. That is what we need. We want to have a positive effect on young people getting into the sport, because players like that will be role models for him. When I was growing up, I wanted to be Ian Wright. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an R9. When I was growing up, I wanted to be Zidane. I didn't think about being a Maldini. He's now thinking about being a Saliba. It's just levels, man. He's so good. He really is so good. Kivior was good again tonight. It's funny, innit? Because Kivior playing at left-sided centre-back is so much better than him playing at left-back. I know he was at fault for the goal at the weekend, but I really feel like against Manchester United and Monaco at the Emirates now, he's put in 2 fairly good performances. And as much as he's nowhere near the level of Gabriel, we haven't missed Gabriel nowhere near as much as I thought we would. And that's a compliment to Kivior, to be fair. A player I don't know that has a future long-term of Arsenal, but he's done well. Thomas Partey tonight, pretty solid performance from him at right back, if I'm honest with you. But let's just be real. When Timber came on, I have to say, I think he's one of my favourite players, people. Honestly, chat, I think he's one of my favourite players. Timber is magnificent, man. Whether he plays right back, left back, centre back, he's magnificent. He is so good driving forward on the ball, it's scary. I honestly think this fullback is absolutely mustard. Brilliant. Beyond belief. And Arteta, by the way, with the dark arts and the mind games, Timber and Partey didn't train, but they both played tonight. Come on, man. Let's be real. They were superb. Both of them were really good, actually, but Timber, I'm sorry. I can't get out of my head how good he is. And people will talk about fullbacks in Arsenal's history. And I honestly think the names Lauren, Dixon, Sagna will have Timber in the next 5 years. I think in the next 5 years, which is probably what Lauren and Dixon, I mean, Dixon played a lot more than 5 years, but Lauren and Sanya, they all had between 5 and 8 years at the club, didn't they? I want to see Timber better than them. And I think he's got it in his locker to be. I'm not overhyping him. I'm not saying it's crazy. We've seen this guy. Absolutely superb. Everything I want to see in a fullback. Everything I want to see defensively in a fullback, everything I want to see going forward as a fullback, everything I want to see overlapping in a fullback, everything I want to see from the athleticism and the strength and the power and pace of a fullback. This guy is so good. I want to see him right back. I want to see him right back. I want to see Saliba alongside him. That right-hand side with Odegaard and Saka in front. Woo! That could be one of the best that we have seen in recent times on that right-hand side. It's got everything that. It's got creativity. It's got passability. It's got vision. It's got weight of pass from Erdegaard. It's got leadership qualities. It's got press. Saka's got the goals and assists and the fact that everything goes through him. And then behind it, you've got Saliba who mops everything up, and Timber who's got the ability on the ball and the technical ability and everything else you need on a fullback. Oh, it's exciting. That right-hand side gets me excited. It really does. Unfortunately, the left-hand side doesn't as much, but I tell you what, that was very good tonight, and it impressed me. It did impress me. Let's move to Declan Rice, because Declan Rice in the 6 is a player that I really like, and I think he proved why tonight. Everything that he did when he was on the ball, it just looks so good. Moving the ball forward as well in transition, I think he's a hell of a lot better. I think a lot of people give him a lot of stick for that. He's not as good as Thomas Partey in that mold. I think that, it's quite clear that he's the best number 6 at the club, but he ain't going to be around forever, and we need somebody to come in there. And I would be very, 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 very happy to go and get another number 8. I don't want to get another number 6. I don't want to. Yeah, we've got Partey, we've got Jorginho, we've got Rice. I don't need another 6. When Partey and Jorginho go, by all means, go and get your Zubamendi type player. But you're going to need an 8, because we need Rice and another 6 and another 8 and Marino. That's what we need for our future in midfield. So look, I like Declan Rice. I like him in that position. I would happily see him in a double pivot. I do not want to see him in a progressive 8 role. It ain't good. It ain't good. So I like him. And he, for me, has been looking better in the last few games since he's actually had a bit of a break, which is what I want to be seeing. So he needs a bit of a rest. And Declan Rice, you'll get the best out of him for sure. Martin Odegaard, look, he kept things ticking tonight. I felt like he needed to come off for Ethan Nwaneri, and I think Nwaneri should have got a little bit more minutes. Bukayo Saka, I've mentioned. Never write this kid off, man. Never doubt this kid. He's sensational. Absolutely sensational. And I look at what he's delivered in an Arsenal shirt consistently for 4 years now? Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Nothing more I can say. Bukayo Saka is a wonderful human being, a wonderful player, and will go down as an Arsenal legend. There's no doubt about it. Because, yeah, you need to win trophies, and I'm sure we will. Yeah, we need to win with Bukayo Saka for him to become a legend. But there's some players that you just fall in love with, and he is one of them. He is one of them. He's the player that we can rely on so much, and he's durable. Everything about this kid, I love. So, Bukayo, fair play to you, man. Martinelli was a bit better tonight. Jesus, we've mentioned. Havertz come on. And if I'm honest with you, the subs that came on tonight, I've got to say big up to Trossard, because I thought he actually played quite well when he came on. A couple of opportunities where he got his passing wrong and he got his shots went over the bar, but I actually thought he was a lot better, a lot more threatening than he was at the weekend. And then, if I'm honest with you, the other subs that came on, Jorginho just come and kept it steady, come and give us good balance. I like his passing. Range of passing is really, very good. Obviously, we saw Timber come on, who I've mentioned, and Ethan. And when Ethan come on, I've got to say, he just looks special, doesn't he? He just looks comfortable. He looks a part of it. He looks ready. He doesn't look the kid that could be there in a few years' time. Do you know when we had Joe Willock coming on and we thought, not sure. Maitland-Niles coming on, not sure. Even, I've got to say it, Smith Rowe. Nelson and Eddie, I never ever looked at them and thought, wow. But Smith Rowe, I looked at him in glimpses and thought, fair play. But I've got to be real. I ain't ever looked at it like I have with one area. And I've got to put Lewis Skelly in a bracket of above those names that I mentioned previously as well, because I've not looked at Lewis Skelly once and thought, not sure about where he's going to be in the future. I actually have looked at him and thought that he could definitely be a part of this squad and have a future at the club. So I've got to say it. I've got to say it. What do we do on Saturday? It's a must-win game. Interesting to see whether Gabriel and Calafiori come back into the mix. And interesting to see who does get the nod, Martinelli or Trossard. Havertz, I imagine, will start. Saka definitely will. Does Ethan come into this side ahead of an Erdegaard? Does Erdegaard get a break? Do we play a little bit half and half with him and try and get him into a bit more? Does Declan Rice stay in the 6, or does Partey come back into midfield? All of these question marks. What would I do? Right now, I would play our best players in each position that we've got. Right now, Raya's our best goalkeeper. Our best right back is Timber, so I'd play Timber there. Our best left back at the moment is Lewis Skelly, so I'll play Lewis Skelly there. Our best centre back pairing is Saliba and Kivior at the moment with the Gabriel injury. I think you have to play Partey, Rice, and Odegaard because Partey has been better in the sixth than Rice. And then I think you have to play Saka, Havertz, and I think you have to start Martinelli and bring Trossard on as a sub because it doesn't work the other way around for me. So that's what I'd do at the weekend. Don't know what's wrong with Gabriel. Don't know what's wrong with Calafiori. No idea what's wrong with Zinchenko or Tomiyasu. We know Ben White's had surgery, but everybody else, I think, should be available. Big up to Suge with the super chat before we close. I had many quotes about our shooting at goal, he says, but none was appropriate for the stream. After today, Jesus needs to leave. It's not often a player makes Kai Havertz look good. The left side looked a lot better today. Okay, let's break this down. So let's go from backwards to front. The left side looks a lot better today. I've mentioned that, and I totally agree with you, Suge. I think Marino and Lewis Skelly helped that with left-footed players playing on the left. Martinelli's game definitely improved, in my opinion. I didn't think he was outstanding tonight by any means, but I thought he was definitely better. I will say this, actually. He was very lucky not to get sent off, because he was on a yellow card, and he pulled that guy back, and then he made another foul, and I thought, he's going to go. Now, the European ref, to be fair play. The other thing I liked about it is you get the automated VAR. You could see straight away it was clear. Why don't we use them? It has to be bringing that in. Jesus needs to leave. I agree with that. After today, I don't think there's any future for him, if I'm honest with you, up top. Certainly the 9 for Arsenal. It's just not. None was appropriate for the stream of our shooting at goal. I've been very calm myself for this stream, but there's definitely not any calmness about me when that was happening live at the stadium. Let me tell you that right now. Look, we've got an unbelievable opportunity to go on a run now. We've got some very winnable games. Everton at home. We've got Palace at home in the Cup. We've got Palace away. Brentford to play away. Ipswich at home. We need to go on a run now, people. We really do. Yes, we've got Manchester United coming up in the FA Cup. We've got Brighton coming up. We've got Spurs coming up in the new year. But let's just go one game at a time at the moment. And that, of course, means it's Everton next on Saturday at 3 p.m., I believe. So let's make sure that we get behind the team. Look, do me a favor, people. There's nowhere near enough of you in here hitting the like button. I've only just got myself over to 100 likes, and there's nearly 350 of you in here. So please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Those are the 2 buttons you need. And then click on the link description, pinned in the comments or in the description, reality raffles, and enter. It's 99p, people. In fact, it's less than that, because if you use the code FTM10, you get 10% off of it. So for the sake of a few pence, you could win Arsenal tickets. Make sure you go to do it. There's a great opportunity for you to do that. Click on the pinned comment section now, follow the instructions, enter, and you'll be put into a prize draw. And it's not just Arsenal tickets. Of course, it's a match day experience. So it can be for any team of your choice. You have to be living in the UK to do it. So please make sure that you get that involved, people. Big up to every single one of you. I hope you're well. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you're listening to around the world. I'm going to be back tomorrow with some shows. I'll be on LB's channel at 12. I'll be on Troops' channel at 2. And I'll be back on here at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then we've got Rival Talk in the evening at 8 p.m. So please make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Up the Arsenal.